Hi guys, I've been asked if I could record a little routine to help with tightness into the hip flexors. So first thing, I'm going to try and see if I can get the psoas going. So if you lie down on the back, we're going to do just a little test. I'm going to extend the left leg away along the floor, bend the right to bring the right knee up and towards you. See if you can get the hip joint to flex just past the 90-degree angle. So I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to raise the shin slightly, relax the foot, relax the toes, and then placing both hands on the top of the thigh, I'm going to push with the hands as hard as I can, and then I'm going to resist with the leg. I don't want the leg to move away from me. I want the leg to stay close to me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ease in the tension, dropping the leg down. I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. So ideally you would have been able to hold that leg past that 90 degree, the hip flexion past that 90-degree point. I'm going to try the same thing with the left. So bring the left leg up, I'm going to get to that 90-degree and then a little bit further, then popping both hands on top of the thigh, and then I'm going to push away as hard as I can, resisting with the leg. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And easing back and dropping the leg down, relaxing the hip. So I've got an idea. I'm going to try a slightly different position this time. Coming up into sitting, I'm going to straighten up the legs in front of me, and then I'm going to set the hands down by the side of the hips. Now keeping the hands flat on the ground, I'm going to straighten up the right leg, so making sure that the knee locks so the shin is not kind of like flapping around. I'm going to lock it through the thigh, and then I'm going to lift the leg. Then I'm going to pop it back down, lock that left thigh, and then I'm going to lift the leg. So keep the lift going. So if you can think of a pause about 2 seconds every time that I lift. So making sure that I'm not just flicking the leg up using momentum. So I'm going to lock, lift, a little pause. Yes, I can hold it here, drop down. Maintaining that movement going. If that movement feels quite easy, so I feel that I can lift the leg here, I can hold it for 20 seconds, not 5, not 2. Then I'm going to bring the hands a little bit further forward. So I'm going to rest it by the side of the knees this time, nice and flat. And then pushing the palms into the ground, I'm going to lock the right thigh and then lift the right leg. The leg is suddenly feeling a lot heavier now. I'm going to ease back, I'm going to lock the left and then lift the left leg up. Notice the knee, making sure that it's still locked straight so the shin is not hanging down, putting pressure into the knee joint. And the quads are not compensating. If I feel that that still feels quite easy, then I'm going to try and see if I can go a little bit further. So instead of resting the hands by the side of the knees, I'm going to bring the hands by the side of the shin. And then keeping the palms flat on the ground, can I straighten up the right leg and then still lift it? Then coming down, straighten up the left leg and then still lift it. And then coming down. So maintaining the pull going, just to try a few times on each side, noticing the body will tend to lean backwards. As leaning backwards is giving me more space, it's less effort. To see if you can stay forward. You might find that your quads start cramping up. If the quads is cramping up, then it means that the psoas is very likely not to be doing much work. The quads is doing all of the work. So noticing how far your hands can go and stay flat on the ground when you lift it and hold that leg. And then when you're ready, I want you to lower yourself all the way down until you're resting on the back. Legs are in a comfortable position. I'm going to try and see if I can get neuromuscular activation on the psoas point. So find your belly button. I'm going to walk my fingers about an inch out and an inch down, and then I'm just going to gently, using 3 or 4 fingers, I'm just going to rub around. So it could be a little bit of a side to side, it could be a little bit of a jiggle around, just to try to notice any difference between the right and left side. One side might be feeling quite hard, one side might be feeling quite tender, one side I can feel it more if I circle, the other side I can feel it more if I rub side to side. So just to see if I can try and ease off some of the tension from the tissue. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Then bending the right leg, going back to that 90-degree angle of the hip flexion, and then a little bit more, holding the leg there, placing both hands on top of the thigh, and then same as before, I'm going to push away as hard as I can, resisting with the leg. See if you can notice any different. Does it feel any easier, harder? Same. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Dropping the leg down, I'm going to retest the left leg, lifting the left leg a little bit further than that 90-degree angle, hand onto the thigh, push away as hard as you can and resist with the leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Dropping the leg down, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. Hopefully that felt a little bit stronger. I'm going to push myself back up into sitting, and then I'm going to retest from that seated position. So I'm going to straighten up the legs, and then wherever your hands are where, by the hips, by the knees, by the calves, by the feet, if you manage to get that far, pop the hands back there, keep them flat, locking the right leg, lifting, holding, and then coming down, locking the left leg, lifting, holding, and then coming down. Try a couple more times on each side. Again, noticing if it feels any different, any easy. That cramping on the front of the thigh might be gone, might still be there. One more time each way. Drop the other, and then drop. Releasing the legs, releasing the hips. So there's a little bit more connection through the hip flexor. Now I'm going to start to stretching it out, to stretching it away. So taking the legs around to the side, coming up onto your hands and knees. I'm going to keep the right knee down on the ground and stepping the left foot forward. Now think of the position of the back. The tendency as we go forward is to slump, is to collapse down. If I collapse it down, unfortunately my hip flexors, instead of stretching away, is actually slacking. So see if I can put a little traction into it. I'm going to clench with the right bum cheek, and then as if I was trying to tuck the tailbone under, almost going into a little posterior tilt. I'm going to try and hold that tension, and then I'm going to push forward. So I can feel now the traction into the front of the hip. As I'm coming forward into the stretch, I can feel it going deeper into the hip, into the leg. So see if you can keep the tension into the right bum cheek. See if you can keep squeezing forward, encouraging the tailbone to stay tucked under so the lower back is nice and soft, as flat as possible. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Relaxing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing with the left side. So stepping forward on the left foot. Same as before. I don't need to go too deep, but what I want is to see if I can try and exaggerate and create that little tilt. So squeezing with the left bum cheek, tucking the tailbone under. I'm going to start to pushing forward, as far forward as I can feel that traction into the front of the hip, making sure that you're not letting the hips go and then allowing the belly to kind of like a drop forward. See if I can hold my lift, maintaining the support of the front, and then creating a nice good drive from the back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Taking both legs behind, allowing the hips a little rest. I'm going to try and go a little bit deeper this time, or changing the pulse slightly this time. Just keeping the right knee down, stepping forward on the left foot. This time I'm going to go for length. I'm going to go for width of the step. I'm going to shuffle the right leg as far back as I can, but this time I'm going to lean forward, so there is no need for my back to hyperextend. I'm going to settle the hands down by the side of the leg, by the side of the left leg, by the side of the foot. And then same as before, see if you can think of that right bum cheek pushing the hips forward and then down at the same time. If I'm pushing hard enough with the bum, my right kneecap is actually nice and light on the floor, so there shouldn't be pressure into that right knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay there, tucking the toes under on that right foot. And then think of maintaining the hips exactly the same height. So I don't want my bum to go up, I want my bum to stay down, the knee to work its way up. So see if I can create a little bit more traction again at the front of the hip. And then once you've got that traction, hold it steady. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now ease that tension slightly so it feels a little bit looser here. Imagine a pencil attached to your pubic bone. See if you can start to draw in little circles with that pencil on the floor underneath. So see if you can think of relaxing through the hips. So feel the hips are dropping down, the left and the right are moving together. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, reversed in the circle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it down. Taking both legs behind, allowing yourself to just push back slightly. I'm sitting back onto the feet, allowing the right hip to close, allowing the pelvis to reset in the middle. I'm going to repeat the same on the left side. So the left knee stays down, the right foot steps forward. I'm going to set both hands on the inside of the right leg, the body's forward. Shuffling the left knee as far away as you can. See if you can create that initial traction into that left hip. And then once I can feel the traction with that left bum cheek, I'm going to push forward and then down. So same as before, there is very little pressure going through my left knee if I'm pushing in the right direction. So think of coming this way slightly, as if I was trying to drive my pubic bone into the space between my hand and my foot. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tucking the toes under, gripping down with the foot to keep squeezing with the left bum cheek down, and then working that left knee up and away from the ground, creating a little bit more traction, a little bit more stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ease on that tension slightly, but staying there. Give me the circles now. So 10 circles going one way, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 circles going the other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release and down. Taking the legs, both legs behind and pushing back into shell, pushing back into child, allowing the hips to close at the back of the pelvis to reset, to relax in the middle. I've got a little bit more opening through into the deeper hip flexor. I'm going to try and get the quads a little bit more involved into the stretch too. So coming down onto your hands and knees again, I'm going to keep the left knee to the ground. I'm going to keep the right knee to the ground and left foot steps forward. And then similar to what I did before, I'm going to try and bring myself upright and then shifting forward slightly. See if I can go forward in half to make sure that there is no pain into the kneecap. So it shouldn't be pressed right into the front of the kneecap. I'm going to hold there, and then if I feel stable enough, I'm going to start lifting the right foot off the ground and trying to bring it up and towards the hip. As the foot comes up, the pressure should be going onto the top of your thigh, so not onto the kneecap. That will be very painful. If I feel too wobbly, I might want to put the hand on the wall, onto the side to give me support. See if you can, with your right hand, grab hold of that right foot. And then with the hips, I'm still trying to drive my way forward. So remember, I don't want to pull back, and that will close my hip. I want to open the hip, and then at the same time as I'm pulling the knee towards me, I'm lengthening through the thigh. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, easing the pressure off that right leg. I'm going to do the same thing with the left, just stepping forward on the right foot, left knee stays down, shuffling that left knee back, making sure that the pressure is not right at the front of the kneecap. And then again, I'm going to lift that left foot off the ground, grabbing hold of that left foot, and then gently pull it towards you. You can always use a strap if you feel that the foot is a little bit too far away to reach. I can just put the strap around the foot and then pull on the strap. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Pushing back into shell again, allowing the hips to close, the back of the pelvis to reset, to relax, and then changing the direction of the pull one more time. I'm curling back, taking the legs to the front, coming down into sitting. I'm going to lower myself all the way down until resting on the back. And then same as you did on your kneeling position, see if you can be aware of the hips opening up. So I'm going to push down through the soles of the feet and then squeezing the hips up. See if you can be aware of the front of the hip fully extended. So I want space at the front. The back of the bum is driving the lift. The thighs are reaching out and away from the hips, so giving myself a little support if I need to, or just holding with the hips or holding with the bum if I can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Easing down, little rest there. I'm going to try again. This time, instead of holding still, I'm going to focus just on one side, the right hip first. I'm going to give a little squeeze from the back of the bum and then trying to push the right hip just a little bit higher. So see if I can try and open up a little bit more into the front of the right hip and then get the activation into the right side of the bum a little bit more, or the connection to the back of the bum. So pushing up into the bridge, holding the lift at the top. Now focus on that right hip. I'm going to squeeze with the back of the bum. I want that right hip to push up a little bit higher, so I feel a little bit more traction down the front of the hip. Then I'm going to come back to level and then push up a little bit higher again. 3, 4, 5, 6. Making sure there's only the hip that is moving, not the all of the chest. 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to ease my way back. Same thing to the left side. So pushing up into the lift, holding the lift at the top, and then trying to Create that little extra traction into that left side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Ribcage still. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release and down. Hugging the knees to the chest, rocking the legs forward and back a few times, and making sure that the back doesn't feel too stiff, it doesn't feel too tight. When you're ready, dropping the feet back down, lifting yourself all the way back up into sitting, taking both legs down to the same side. So I'm going to flick both legs, both feet to the right. Adjusting the position of the feet to bring them close, take them further away. I might need the hands to begin with, so I'm going to just pop the hands behind. What I want is to push myself up into kneeling. See if you can focus on that right leg behind you, making sure that with the back of the bum I'm pushing enough to create that opening through the hip. Then I'm going to drop down, I'm going to switch the legs to the other side, and then again I'm going to squeeze my way up, but this time see if I can create that opening into that left hip. Then drop down, swap round, squeeze up to lift. Drop down, swap round, squeeze up to lift. Drop down, squeeze round, lift. So think of a nice gentle drive coming from the back of the hip, from the back of the bum, pushing the hips forward, and then swapping over, coming back. You're rolling onto the side of the shin, so there shouldn't be actual pressure, not too much pressure through the knee. So controlling up, controlling down, controlling up, controlling down. 4 more. 3, 2, last one, and releasing back. Relaxing the legs and releasing the hips, so taking the legs around to the side, coming up and around until you're up on your forearms and knees. So I'm going to drop down onto the forearms and shuffle the knees a little bit further away from each other, and then tucking the toes under, I'm going to grip down with the feet. I'm going to extend that left leg away, straightening up the left leg. The foot is still gripping. What I want is to lower the leg down so that your thigh touches the floor but not your knee. So I don't want to drop like that. I want to drop all the way down that way. Shoulders still connected, making sure that I'm not sagging, I'm still holding. I'm going to pull back, slide the leg back in place, sliding the other one away. With the top of the thigh, I'm going to try and touch the floor, but I want the knee to stay off. Then come back, sliding the leg back, sliding away that left, lower, lift, and pull back. Slide away, lower, lift, and pull back. Keep the slide going. See if you can start adding a little turn. So as your left thigh drops, see if you can turn around and then look over that right shoulder. So imagine to be able to see the legs. You should be able to see the legs. Then I'm going to come back, slide the leg back in place. I'm going to slide the right leg away, dropping the thigh, turning the head to look over that left shoulder. See if I can see the legs again. Then easing back, and then trying again. One more time on each side. So dropping the thigh, turning, look at the legs, come back, knees still off the ground, and making sure that you're not letting it touch down. If it touches down, it tends to push off. I don't want to push off with my knee. And then easing back. As you finish with the last one, releasing all the way back, bringing the legs to the front, giving the legs a little walk, giving the legs a little shake. And stepping the feet just a little bit wider. Then hips width apart. This time I'm going to lean back, and then a nice and easy side to side to see if I can try and release through the hip, release through the leg. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release and back. So testing your new hip flexor. see if that feel any different. Obviously don't expect an enormous change after the first session. Try maybe once a week for 3-4 weeks at least, and then you should be noticing a change. So please let me know anything, comment on the box below, and I hope I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.